Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Erik Voss here with Zach Huddleston.
Hey!
And we are about to react to the Fantastic Four First Steps trailer that was just released this morning. It's super early here on the West Coast, but you know, Zach and I are like dads at New Rockstars. We're used to not getting much sleep, so...
And we'd wake up any hour for a new Marvel trailer, wouldn't we?
Yes. Yeah, so we're caffeinated, we're ready to go. We are wearing some exclusive shirt designs at nerdright.shop is where you can find them. I'm wearing our Fired Up shirt.
This is the Devourer of Worlds shirt.
I like that one. Both of these shirts and several other designs are really the best way you can support what we're doing here at New Rockstars and show your love for this movie and these characters. I really don't know what to expect from this. They've had this really cool countdown on the YouTube stream that just felt like we're, you know, watching NASA footage.
Yes.
We're back huddled around the TV screen waiting for a launch. Like, what a cool feeling we already have. And I'm excited to see what they have in store at this trailer. Are you ready?
I am beyond ready.
All right,
let's go.
Do this. Let's go.
Ooh.
Look at that
Welcome to
skyline.
the Baxter Building.
We make a point to do family dinner every week. Sunday at 7 on the dot, no matter what. We're all here.
Saw that in the Comic-Con Baxter building.
How's that sauce coming?
What?
Yeah, I'll be the judge of that. Okay.
The clapping.
Okay. Is this guy good or what? I want to add a couple cloves of garlic. Not because it's not delicious. I just want to add a little bit of zip. Okay?
Cousin, put some more garlic in that, cousin.
Before we went up the first time, you couldn't turn invisible.
Ooh.
Ben wasn't a rock.
The best pilot in the world right here.
Yeah. Best looking, he means.
Johnny
Wow.
never caught fire.
Clemons!
Ben has always
That looks
been
good.
around. Johnny is Johnny.
Hi.
And I am right here. Whatever life throws at us,
I love that.
we'll face it
Ah.
together.
Oh, fantastic car.
Oh!
As a family.
Oh. Wow.
Yes! Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, so I saw the concept trailer that they showed at Comic-Con. There was some of that footage here, but mostly this is all new footage that they've shot, and it looks really good. Doesn't it kind of feel like they are really taking first steps to kind of reintroduce this Marvel's First Family to viewers, right? We've had versions of the Fantastic Four from the Roger Corman film, from the Tim Story 2 films in 2005 and 2007, with the Josh Trank 2015 movie. But this kind of feels like Kevin Feige idealizing what the Marvel First Family could have looked like had they had the rights to these characters back in 2008 and were able to introduce them in Phase 1, but with like the VFX and practical effects powers that they have now, and really just like try to do a perfect, true, authentic Silver Age Fantastic Four, both in terms of the tones of the family dynamics, the themes of fame and celebrity, the vibes of the NASA space race. We are in an alternate universe 1963, and I think that's super interesting, and I love the look of this alternate universe Manhattan. There's a texture to it that just feels very real and very Tomorrowland in a way that I'm really digging. What was your
Yeah, I love the Tomorrowland. Clearly, like designs of things like the Fantastic Car and the architecture of the Baxter Building, but also the very lived in. Like, I love the plastic thing costumes that the kids are wearing in the street.
Oh, the fans,
Like,
yeah.
I had those kinds of Halloween costumes
Yes.
when I was a kid, right?
Uh-huh.
They fell apart by like 9 p.m. on Halloween night, but
Yeah.
like, I love it's like, though it is like very stylized and different than our world, or even that our world was in the 60s, but like it still has a lived in quality. And I think like this trailer is really trying to like have the Fantastic Four feel lived in, right? We meet them giving a tour of their home. 10 seconds in, we're like cooking dinner, right? Like repeated references to family, family, right? Like they want us to feel at home, even though this is a world none of us have ever lived in, right?
Yeah, and may never have a chance to, because Galactus is here. And we don't see Galactus's face. He's played by Ralph Ineson in this movie, who you might know from, let's see, he was in everything. He was in the Harry Potter films, playing one of the Caro
Recently
brothers.
in Nosferatu.
Oh, that's right. He was
Yes.
in Nosferatu. He was in Robert Eggers' The Witch.
Yes.
has an incredible voice, and I think will make a great Galactus. We saw a previs version of his face in the Comic-Con footage back in July, but I don't think that's finished.
Peeking in a window.
Peeking in a window. And just to give a sense, because I messed this up before, Galactus is huge. He's a devourer of worlds, but he can also rescale his size so that he can like enter an atmosphere and just kind of loom kaiju size over a city. We get these glorious shots of this alternate universe Manhattan that has certain landmarks in it, like the Empire State Building, the Chrysler Building, but has
the Statue of Liberty.
Statue of Liberty, but other landmarks like the Baxter Building, this elevated monorail train that goes around the city, weird kind of Sid Mead inspired architecture that Matt Shakman talked about at Comic-Con. That's what we're saying when we say Tomorrowland. It's something that like Sid Mead and a lot of other retrofuturist designers from the 50s were going back in time and looking at like Jules Verne designs and saying, hey, can we kind of make a forever future that we're always aspiring toward? And there was such excitement in the 1960s in America over this new space age, you know? And I think they're trying to recapture that with this movie by having this launch event at the Huntsville Kennedy Center. Even the countdown being the actual like audio from one of the Apollo mission countdown sequences. So great. They've talked about how the Apollo 11 documentary was a huge inspiration on this film. Yeah, the whole idea of fame and celebrity is like an important thing to Reed and Ben's relationship, because when they get powered up, only Ben has like a physical change that anybody can see anytime he walks around, and he
can't turn it off.
He can't hide it. He can't mask it. So in the comics, Reed makes the decision for the other three to come out and say we're also superpowered individuals to make Ben feel less isolated. And so it's not just like a story about fame just for fame's sake. It's a story about like the sacrifice of fame. And I think that's just going to be a really cool thing to explore that I don't know if the past movies have explored. Before we go further, this is the first Fantastic Four video we're doing this week. Later this morning, join us over on the Break Room channel where we will be answering your questions in a real-time live stream. I want to hear your theories, details you noticed in this trailer, answer your questions, join that conversation over on the Break Room channel. And then sometime today, I will be watching this trailer no less than 25 times to just try to find everything in it in a frame-by-frame analysis. And that video is going to take some time, but it will come out to the new Rockstars channel tomorrow. First chance we can.
Some of those flying Human Torch shots, I was like, Erik is going to identify every single thing in the background of these shots. You're going to slow it down. I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm going to find everything.
We tend to think of websites as a place we go to consume information, and that information goes in one direction. But a lot of websites take your information whenever you visit and sell it to anyone who's willing to pay a few dollars. Delete Me lets you take back control of your data because they agree that your data should be yours and yours alone. Delete Me is a hands-free subscription service that helps you reduce the risks of identity theft and scams by removing your data from hundreds of data broker sites. It's super easy to use. You take 5 minutes to submit your info to Delete Me. Their experts comb through the internet looking for places your data shouldn't be, and then they remove it and send you a report on what they've done. Delete Me works all year long to remove things like your name, address, email address, phone number, and more from data broker sites, and they're constantly adding new features and updating their removal targets to help you get back control over your personal data. Get 20% off Delete Me consumer plans when you go to joindeleteme.com/rockstars and use promo code rockstars at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/rockstars and use code rockstars. Thank you, Delete Me, for sponsoring this video.
Let's talk about the power-ups that were shown in this trailer. For me, this felt like a Marvel Phase 1, kind of as if you don't know who the Fantastic Four are, every individual's power sets, and I like that they did that. I think for a lot of people, they have impressions about the Fantastic Four, but don't really understand them.
I quibble with you. Not every individual's power set. I didn't see a single long arm in that video.
Good point. Yeah, we don't see Reed Richards, but maybe that's the one that people kind of know already.
Yes.
Like we just saw John Krasinski use it. Remember seeing Ewan Griffith do it in the 2005 and 2007 film.
But interesting is they're clearly like giving us some beats with every character.
Yeah.
And the beats we get with Reed Richards are like him at the chalkboard.
Yes.
Which is interesting. They're focusing on him as, leader, family man, and scientist.
Yes.
Maybe more so than super stretchy man. Yeah.
And I think that's the more important component to his character. Like the stretchiness is almost in service of his genius as an engineer. The flame on moment looks pretty great. I gotta say.
And even the moments in flight when he's not in flame up in the stratosphere.
Yeah, when he's like
Very
floating
cool.
above.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to piece together the sequencing of this. It looks like he's flying toward a nighttime shot of a meteor shower, but then the shots of Galactus seem like they're happening in the morning. So I wonder if he might be flying towards Silver Surfer, Shia LaBeouf. So she didn't show up in this trailer, but Julia Garner from Netflix's Ozark, remember, you're gonna have to kill me! She is playing Shia LaBeouf, Silver Surfer, who is Norrin Rad, Silver Surfer's partner at some point in the comics, but she is also in her own right a herald of Galactus. And before you get all outraged by that, this is an alternate universe, and there's a very good chance we still see a Norrin Rad played by perhaps Lakeith Stanfield.
Oh, is that the rumor?
That's the rumor. He did
Okay.
say when they announced Julia Garner, he's like, I thought I was playing this character, and then deleted the Instagram post. So Lakeith might be playing the male Norrin Rad Silver Surfer in the 616 universe, or in Secret Wars, or in Doomsday. We'll see. Speaking of the Doomsday of it all, we don't see Robert Downey Jr.'s Dr. Doom in this. We do think he will come from this alternate universe, and that this movie will set up the events of Avengers Doomsday. Like maybe Galactus devours this world or destroys this Earth. We've had a lot of speculation over what First Steps really means. And at Comic-Con, Matt Shakman, the director, who directed WandaVision and a bunch of television episodes, directed Monarch Legacy of Monsters, and comes from a long lineage of sitcoms as a child actor. This is his first feature, and he said that in addition to being inspired by the Apollo 11 documentary, and of course like the Silver Age era of the comics, he is really trying to focus on First Steps as, how it relates to Neil Armstrong's quote, "One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind," but said that there's another meaning to it. And then in all the synopses that Marvel has released, they said it gets personal and hasn't really alluded to what. And a lot of us are thinking that in addition to being Marvel's first family of these four, there might be a child in the mix here. That Franklin Richards might be in the story. Franklin Richards is Reed Richards and Sue Storm's son. There's also Valeria Richards is her daughter. We know from the 838 universe where John Krasinski played Reed Richards, he talked about having kids. There might be a kid in this. Franklin Richards is an Omega level mutant in the Marvel Comics, a very powerful character, and someone who could be important to the Future Foundation in the future of Marvel Studios stories. But, there's been some rumors or speculation that Galactus may actually be targeting Franklin Richards, and that's why he's come to Earth. And that could put this Fantastic Four in a bind where they have to decide, well, we got to fight for this Earth. We can't give up our kid, but are we willing to sacrifice this entire Earth, this entire universe, just for our kid? That could put them in a very dark situation.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
I can't wait for your breakdown where you scan the background of every shot to see if there's any bottle racks.
Yeah.
Any diaper stands.
That's right. Any Brezza bottle cleaners.
Yes.
If you just see any rattle or anything.
And you and I both know that like First Steps, a child usually takes her first steps about 18 months.
Oh,
right?
good.
Though when you're Franklin Richards, maybe that kid's coming out the womb full speed. I don't know.
Good to know, because my son it seems close, and our pediatrician's like, he should be trying to do more right now, and I'm like, he's on his own timeline. He's doing great right now.
He's doing great.
And my man is starting to climb up stuff. He's bracing himself on stuff, and I feel like he is close to taking a first step.
It's
Very
clobbering
close.
time at the Voss
It
household.
is clobbering time. That's right. He
yeah.
just screams "flame on" as he throws a bottle at me.
I was going to say, you mentioning Matt Shakman's history as both a television actor and more recently a television director, this trailer is very TV focused.
Mm-hmm.
You see Ben Grimm watching himself in a TV. The kids all run to a TV. That kind of final shot of the four of them in costume appears to be maybe on a TV set.
Yes.
Right? Like a who's the TV host?
Ed Sullivan.
An Ed Sullivan
Yeah.
type show or whatever, which is interesting. Like the era in which it's set, at least in our world, was very much a mass TV culture, right?
Yeah.
There was 3 channels and everybody tuned in to watch the big events like spaceship launches,
Yes.
right, on their televisions.
Yeah, I think that whole 60s television angle of the movie is why Matt Shakman is like the perfect director for this, as someone who just like gets all those tropes really well. The early episodes of WandaVision just nailed that tone. And like we saw more of this in the Comic-Con trailer. There's going to be like a match game or a dating game show. There's going to be like almost a Mr. Wizard type show where it's like fantastic science with Mr. Fantastic or with Mr. Richards.
That's great.
And he's like lecturing about multiverse science to a group of bored kids.
Well, and even, I don't know if you felt this way, those opening shots of Sue and Reed walking this man who we don't know him through their home feel very kind of forced and formal and proper, as if like maybe that is being filmed for TV or something like
right.
that.
It feels stilted, like they're kind of forced to open their lives to the world just to show that they're harmless and really just to show that Ben is harmless. I don't think Reed and Sue are worried about this. They're doing this for Ben. And I think that's the sweetest thing about what this movie seems to be, like really focusing on Ben's isolation. This really felt like he was the focal character of this trailer in a weird way, watching himself on TV. And it was so cool to see like all that footage that they shot in July. It's now like being shown in universe diegetically in context with the scene, that this is like documentary footage that they're watching on their screens. Like they're incorporating it
maybe
that
even
way.
that documentary that they showed, we are seeing it being filmed as they give this tour
Yeah.
to this like in universe
Oh,
Mike
yes.
Wallace kind of character, right? And like that great shot of Ben in his trench coat, which made me think of how the Ninja Turtles would wear trench coats and hats.
Ben often wears those kind of outfits
Yes.
and on the street.
And him watching himself on TV, it's like he's watching a Fantastic Four documentary.
Yeah.
It's being played on television. Is that just on loop in this universe because they're the biggest celebrities in the world? Is there maybe like an event that is being celebrated or marked or something like that?
I think this isn't gonna be an origin story according to Matt Shakman. We're gonna see them like right in the middle of being these celebrity superheroes in New York City. So I think part of it is like, back in the 60s, people like Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin were celebrities. Yeah. They would appear on late night talk shows. They would do interviews with Time Magazine. They were as important as they were bigger than football stars back then, So I think they're kind of reminding us of what a celebrity used to mean in America. It used to be people who were scientists, who could accomplish things and could rid us of our social problems and our, ecological fears.
They were aspirational, right? Like they were the best of us. They were often like veterans and like test pilots and scientists and everything. You mentioned football stars, Erik. Here in North America, it's kind of a big time of year for football. We are going to be doing a big game live stream. Do you like that natural transition?
The Huddleston segue is my favorite thing.
This Sunday, depending on when you're watching this, February 9th, is the big game. We're avoiding saying the more famous title of that game, just in case it's copywritten or something like that. But we'll be doing a live stream. So we were originally anticipating getting this trailer during the game or right before. We got it early, but we're still going to stream during that because we might get a different Fantastic Four trailer during the game. We might get trailers for other films. We think we might get a new Thunderbolts trailer, maybe another Jurassic World Rebirth.
Oh, yeah.
Who knows? Maybe a Disney Plus. There's all kinds of things we might get. So we're going to be streaming all day Sunday. Come join us. Even that halftime show with Kendrick Lamar. Recent Grammy multi-winner Kendrick Lamar. Who knows what's going to happen during that? So we're going to be live streaming all of that. Come check us out.
And sing along a minor with us. We'll have a lot of fun with that. Let's react to this trailer once more. And I really want to hear Giacchino's score again, because I think Michael Giacchino's music is what I think I might be most excited for this.
No pop song in this trailer, which is rare. Yes. And I like the music they chose, but it's rare for a Marvel trailer these days. They almost always go with a really well-known song.
All right, let's watch again.
Welcome to the Baxter Building.
We make a point to do family dinner every week. Sunday at 7 on the dot, no matter what. We're all here.
Sunday 7.
It's a little late for a baby.
How's that sauce coming? Yeah, I'll be the judge of that. Okay.
The clapping.
Now, he paused a long time before he said okay.
I want to add a couple
His
cloves
taste
of
buds are
garlic.
delayed.
Not because it's not delicious. I just want to add a little bit of zip. Okay?
Is that an eye roll by Herbie?
Before we went up the first time, you couldn't turn invisible. Ben wasn't a rock.
The first time. So
right
we're going up a
Yes.
second time.
Best looking, he means.
I love this.
Fire.
Look at our man. Look at our
Ben's always
boy.
a rock. Johnny is Johnny.
Hi.
And I am right here. Whatever life throws at us, we'll face it together.
It looks so good.
Yeah. What is?
As a family.
Yeah. Still no clue who John Malkovich is playing. It looks like he's coming from a subterranean location.
Or maybe he just had the lights off inside his house.
No,
We
no,
don't
no.
know.
He's coming out of a sewer. That is our mole man. I'm
I don't
convinced.
know.
I don't
I
know.
don't
We know
know.
Paul Walter Hauser's in this movie. We know Natasha Lyonne is in it. She might have been voicing Herbie in that. They modified the voice.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Oh, you think? It kind of sounded like beeps and bloops.
It's
but
she says like okay or something when he's tasting the pasta sauce. So I think Malkovich might be playing a version of Mole Man. Some have been speculating he could be Franklin Storm, Susan Storm's father, but he just looks really unshoveled and looks like a different version of Mole Man.
Yeah, it's a Howard Hughes-esque.
Uh-huh.
He's been asleep or isolated for some long amount of time, right? Yeah, you pointed out in the rewatch there that he says before the first time we went up,
Yeah.
Before we went up the first time, you couldn't turn invisible.
which denotes a couple things,
Yeah.
right? A, they are transformed on their first space voyage or whatever.
Yeah.
That also makes it sound like they've made multiple trips.
Or they're
up
about to make another
or
one.
whatever,
Yeah.
right? Like, that's interesting. So it could be like, yeah, we're catching up. This is Fantastic Four year 2.
Yeah.
They've already done some adventures. They've already been on many missions or something like that.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Also, I just love in that opening thing shot in the kitchen with Herbie, he tastes, and rewatching it, he tastes, and there's a long beat before he says, okay, look at this guy or whatever. That's him not wanting to hurt the robot's feelings.
Right.
He has notes. He knows it needs more garlic, but he's like, I'm not going to say it. First, I'm going to celebrate him. I'm going to compliment
That's right.
sandwich this robot.
That's right. This is Richie season 3 of The Bear as opposed to season 1. Yeah, I'm wondering if the second space flight, or however many space flights this has been on the Marvel one, this could be the one where they have to go to Ta-2. TAA2. That's the name of Galactus' ship, and it's really his home now because his homeworld was Ta. Just Galactus comes from like a previous iteration of the universe before the Big Crunch. So he's like from the 6th iteration of the universe that condensed in the Big Crunch, but he survived, gestating inside of what was called a cosmic egg. We're really getting into it here. Survives, and now he's the Devourer of Worlds. It's kind of like a cosmic caretaker. He goes around clearing out worlds that are on their last legs.
And canonically, how is he related to other giant space creatures like Celestials?
Okay, so he is not the same thing as a Celestial. Celestials are the like gods who create these worlds. He's just like a guy who existed. His name was Galen of Ta, and then now he is Galactus. And so that's kind of like where his name got derived. But he's not a Celestial. He is someone who it's kind of hard to say what their power sets are. The fact that the Celestials kind of have this specific function makes them a certain level of powerful, but Galactus can kind of be like reasoned with in different ways.
And importantly, though we didn't see it in this trailer, he's got a man face.
He will have a face that we'll see. He has a herald that he kind of blackmails into announcing his arrival to these different planets. But if he has some kind of like, I feel like by casting Ralph Ineson, they're not just going to make him a cruel, godly figure, that he's going to have some reason why he's targeting
some
Earth.
great pathos in his voice and his demeanor.
Like maybe targeting Franklin Richards, the baby, is like, this is the only way I can prevent this universe from being destroyed or something. We'll find out. But yeah, the Marvel, through one of their posters, gave us like a list of comics to read. And they said the very first Fantastic Four from 1961, the Galactus arc. There's 3 issues from the late 60s and then a more recent Fantastic Four issue. But they want this to be a straightforward adaptation of the Galactus arc. And involved in that is the Watcher, who warns them about what's happening in the atmospheric conditions. And I think we see that in this trailer. And to defeat Galactus, they send Johnny Storm out into distant space to find the Great Nullifier, which is like kind of a weapon that can destroy Galactus and his ship. And so they are able to kind of bargain with Galactus to get him, to stop him from destroying Earth. And so that second mission might be part of that way to take the fight to Galactus's home ship to keep it away from destroying parts of Earth. And I wonder if that's what that second mission is.
I do like, even though we see a lot of like suiting up in our astronaut outfits, not a lot of space.
Yeah.
Maybe
It's
like
all
1 or
Earth.
2 shots when like Sue is kind of or whatever, right? Maybe that's on a spaceship, but it's an Earthbound trailer for the most part. Though presumably at least some of this movie will be in space.
Yeah, it's gonna feel like Apollo 13 in some ways. Like we're gonna spend quite a bit of time in orbit. I'm just so excited for this. It really does feel like we are explaining what the Silver Age comics meant to that generation of fans. And like, by saying this is first steps, not only are we suggesting Neil Armstrong or the first steps of a child, but really like the first steps into a new era and the first steps that we could have taken had Marvel had the rights to these characters back in the aughts. And we could have led this universe with them. So that's why I think they're going to be so important to the future titles like Doomsday and Secret Wars. They're going to teach the other Marvel characters how to coexist as a family and how to handle their fame in the Marvel world. And they are really so central to everything Marvel. And I think that's what this movie's going to be.
I love that this movie's coming out the same month as Superman, which is similarly for a different studio trying to like reset, maybe like add some optimism and whatever into what can become a cynical world,
That's
right? Like not that they have the same vibes, but there's some tonal similarities between some of them.
We're going to be eating so good
Yes.
this summer in July. It's going to be such an exciting month. So comment down below, the comments of this video, what was your favorite takeaway from this trailer? What are you most looking forward to from this movie? And again, join us over on the Break Room channel where you can bring your questions, your theories, your ideas, your takes, all in that live stream, and we'll address as many of them as we can this morning. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I can't wait to look at this trailer 25 more times and break it down with an in-depth Easter egg analysis, again, coming to the channel of New Rockstars tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, definitely comment, who do you think John Malkovich is playing and why is it not Mole Man?
Yeah, I have no idea.
And remember, get 20% off Delete Me consumer plans when you go to joindeleteme.com/rockstars and use the promo code ROCKSTARS at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/rockstars and use code ROCKSTARS. Thank you, Delete Me, for sponsoring this video.
All right, thank you, Zach. It was a delight.
This is a blast.
Waking up before dawn.
Yes.
And a big thanks to John Costa, our head of production, who's been the man behind the scenes, helping us out with all of this, who also had to wake up very early, and to the New Rockstars editors who are working on this and got this to you. Thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.
Bye.